Haig needs a 2-putt bogey to win here on number 72 at the Rusty Putter in St. John. Ooh. He zips that one past the hole, and with that tapped in, another 3-putt puts Haig and Perry score through 72.
Hey, welcome back.
Look at that.
We're here.
We're almost a professional operation.
We're getting there.
The organization. Well, you survived the grand opening of
Grand opening happened. It was awesome.
I saw no one signed up to come on our show, so
it's just us again.
Yeah. We have no friends. It's all right. They show friends to show business anyways, right?
Right.
So grand opening was nice. I obviously didn't
nice.
make it. Thank you, United. Shout out, canceling flights is what it is. The FAA, FCC won't let me be either. We had quite the football weekend.
Oh yeah,
another big win for Mahomes and Auto.
That's great. The memes about what's the coach from Detroit's name?
Dan
Campbell. Like Campbell playing blackjack and he hits on 18.
Give me a 3.
I love the aggressiveness.
I may or may not have been at a blackjack table in Detroit at one point in my life with someone, and it was about 3 a.m, one of those operations.
Oh yeah,
and
on a heater.
Was on a heater. This guy goes, looks around the table. He has a 17. Looks around the table and goes, "You guys are all gonna hate me, but I'm feeling really good."
Oh no!
Hits the 17, catches a 10.
Took the dealer's 10.
He took the bus card.
Yeah.
And then proceeded to pass out. Perfect. That's what a high and a low right there.
No, football is great. And we would have got a break, and then we got the Super Bowl, baby.
Yeah, we got
San Fran,
and we got KC. I think I may have jinxed the Baltimore Ravens there. We Novus finally got her Maryland license, and all of a sudden Lamar doesn't know how to throw a 15-yard pass, and
yeah,
it is what it is.
Our balls can't win everything,
Yeah, or can they?
Or can they?
Really, we talk about KC real quick, right? Obviously, State Farm's got some got a lot of vested interest in that, but
man,
Patrick Mahomes, 6 years as a starter, 6 years at AFC Championship game. That is an incredible stat.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone's hating on these guys for a little bit. They're falling apart. They don't got it. But you have Patrick Mahomes just figures it out, right? And
winners win, man. Winners win.
And then all of a sudden, so now you have Isaiah Pacheco, who was one of the last players drafted the year before Brock Purdy. Now you got Brock Purdy, start a Super Bowl on a rookie minimum contract.
Yeah.
What a time.
Got some storylines. It's gonna be some fun.
Well, yeah. You know what though? How about this? How about Dan Campbell though? Right? You refuse to kick field goals.
You just go.
I mean, listen. I played high school football. Kicking field goals was never an option because we never had a good field goal kicker. So I understand what it's like to go out 4th and 3 and 4-down territories everywhere. He's did it all year, right? He's a gambler on that. But at some point, you can't take an approach through the regular season. Regular season, you lose a game, you just come back next week. In the playoffs, you lose a game. Playoffs.
Yeah. If you do that, I mean,
you go home and then you got to try again next year. Yeah. Right. And they caught lightning in a bottle. They had some injuries the Lions did this year, but
sure.
A very singular focus and always doing it like that does result in sometimes having to go home or not qualifying to buy a home, Adam.
There you go.
That for a segue.
Tie-in.
Pulled it all together. I was all over the place there for a second. The other day I was like, I don't know, how much do you like the Beastie Boys?
Love them.
Same. My son loves them. Anytime he hears Brass Monkey come on the radio, he instantly thinks he's on the boat. Knows most of the words.
Nice.
And I was listening to She's Crafty, right? I'm like, it's kind of interesting, right? They're talking about one of the guys brings a girl home, and then she robs the whole place. What if that girl is the IRS?
Iris.
The Iris or the IRS, which if you put it together, theirs, right? The tax man. It's tax season right now, right? Everyone's getting their W-2s, their 1040s, H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt. They're popping. And what I've noticed, and I'm sure everyone else has noticed it too, this whole pitch about buying a primary residence, buying your first house, and the tax advantages of it.
Right. What does that even mean?
I'm going to hot take here. All right. People are
Okay.
going to hate that. They're not going to believe this. I'm going to expose a little bit of the industry here.
Okay.
It means jack shit
Hmm.
in 90% of the cases.
Okay.
So
Tell me more.
Forbes published an article that said in 2024, they anticipate 88% of America to take the standard deduction.
Okay.
So usually, historically, prior to this massive increase, doubling number of the standard deduction on your taxes, you were able to itemize your mortgage interest, your real estate taxes. Then you could write down your state income taxes and
Some work expenses.
yeah,
things like
yeah,
that.
unreimbursed business expenses, all of that stuff.
So the idea being either you take the standard deduction, which is here, but if your itemized is higher, then you can take that.
Correct. That was it. Now we have to be very careful here. We're not providing any tax advice. No. We are not paid tax preparers. We're not CPAs. We're not account. Yeah, none of that. I mean, I did get an A in tax accounting in college, but I think it's because I wrote FDIRS on all my papers.
Mm-hmm.
But what's gone on is I should have pulled up the exact year, but everyone's trying to standardize your tax thing, right? The U.S. tax code is a book this big. So how do we do that? Well, how do we casually remove itemized deductions? Well, we'll make the standard deduction so high, right? So you make X amount of dollars gross, right? Then you get deductions for dependents, and then you get the standardized deduction to get to your taxable income number.
Sure.
All right.
Net. Yep.
Yeah. And so you multiply that number out, right? So a marginal tax rate for someone that makes $150,000 is 24%.
Okay.
24% on 150 grand is $36,000. It's a sizable little tax bill right there, my friend.
Sure.
Right? I don't know if that number, I mean, maybe I made that math up, but it seems about right.
Well, it's close. It's progressive tax. So the first 10,000 or 15,000, you pay zero taxes. And then the next up to 80,000, so it's close to that. But for number's sake, let's go with it. Yeah,
we'll run with that, right? But now if we're able to, so if you're married filing jointly, all right, so we've been talking about standard deduction, that number in 2023 taxes, $27,700. If you're single, $13,850.
Okay.
All right. Why does that number matter?
Why does it matter?
Well, if your mortgage interest and real estate taxes don't exceed those thresholds, you're going to take the standard deduction, like 88% of America is going to.
So it wouldn't matter if you owned a house or you rented.
Correct. It doesn't matter because you just have this thing, right? But the problem is that you have all these mortgage people, real estate people, they're stuck in the past, right? They're just trying to elbow you to buy. Hey, just do this. Do your damn research. That's all we've talked about in this show. Budgeting and doing research, right? Well, if my income is this, my tax rate's this, I'm going to buy a house, my total interest per year is going to be $6,000. And my total real estate taxes are $5,000. It's $11,000. If I'm single, my standard deduction is $13,000. I'm taking the standard deduction. I get more money. I'm reducing my income by a higher amount, right?
So what I'm hearing you say is, if someone tells you buying your first home is going to be this magical windfall from the IRS, it's probably not true.
More than likely not true. And we have to stress your primary residence. There are substantial tax advantages to buying rental properties, investment properties, all that stuff. So this is a primary residence, right? Now let's look at this from the other side of the equation, right? So if you're self-employed,
okay.
So you've got a mortgage at one point in your life, your business, set up, S corp, partnership, however it's set up, right? You have to claim X amount of dollars of net income to qualify for a conforming loan or conventional loan, right? Yeah. So if you have to claim, right, let's go back to that marginal tax rate. If you got to claim 150 grand to qualify for a house, if you're self-employed, you're paying $36,000 at least in federal income tax, right? That doesn't even include if you're W-2ing yourself and you're paying the employer portion of tax and all that stuff. So there could be another 7.65% of tax money there, right? What's going to be better for you, right? If you're looking at this and you're going, do I just take a slightly higher interest rate and maybe not realize all that income? Because I got to pay the IRS $44,000. I'm going to buy this house anyways, right? So if my interest difference is only $11,000 a year, I'm 3.5 years ahead.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about, right, Donald Trump, big polarizing figure. He borrows everything. But if we look at everything, right, all of the extremely wealthy people in the United States, it's all about borrowing.
They do borrow.
Borrowing allows you to not have to realize income and not have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
We have loan products that allow for that. So instead of looking at it going, getting roped into, oh, I want to buy a house because I'm going to get this tax windfall. That's not happening. I want to buy a house, my primary residence, because I want to provide safe, stable, sustainable housing for my family.
Right.
Right? I want to look at it from a self-employed standpoint. I want to buy this house. Do I want to realize all of this income and pay a ton of taxes on it? Or just pay a little bit higher interest and be able to retain all of those assets, not have to realize that income, not have to pay the taxes?
Sounds like a complicated thing for most people, which is why they probably need to call someone who knows what they're doing.
They do need to, like, that's what I'm saying. Don't call that person. Do not call that person that's just going to say, oh, hey, it's a great, you get all this money back at the end of the tax year for it. That's boomer mentality, right?
Right.
And everyone wants to talk about, oh, boomer mentality. Oh, I'll do this. Right? Well, maybe we'll make some boomer skits.
I'm becoming a boomer slowly. So
I'm slowly eroded to that too. But what it comes down to is don't fall for these gimmicks, right? We talked the other day, like, about interest rates. Like, don't fall for that trick. Oh, interest rates in 1985 were 18%. Well, the average home price in the United States was $100,000. Everyone wants to advertise these things. A mortgage, when used properly, is one of the most important tools in your financial tool belt. Would you agree?
I would agree.
All right.
A mortgage.
Yeah, a mortgage with 2 G's.
Yes.
Well, not a mortgage, but a mortgage.
I have polarizing theories on mortgages. We could talk about them.
Let's hear it.
I don't know why anyone would ever pay off a house. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And that's kind of the mentality that the generation before us was. You worked hard, you paid off your house. Then when you retired, you didn't have that bill. Well, my argument is, why wouldn't you take that equity and put it into something that can make you more money? Because a mortgage rate is usually less than what you can get outside of it.
Even when mortgage rates are high, like, so let's talk about that. One of the things that I've always talked about is what's your, like, the net effective rate, right? And we're gonna have Bill Bloom on in a week or two. He's gonna talk about future value, time value of money, and all of that stuff.
Yep.
But if inflation is 9%,
Yep.
right?
Wow.
But your interest rate's 7%. You're gonna borrow money from me. You're gonna borrow $100 from me today at today's $100, right?
Yep.
But you're gonna pay me back with $1 that's worth 91 cents.
Right.
It's a damn good deal for you.
Sounds like a good one.
Like, if you look at it, like, if you can borrow money under the cost of inflation, the cost of funds, like, leverage is good. Don't Dave Ramsey, you want to buy into that stuff? It never works, right?
It's good for a certain portion of the population.
Yeah, 4% of it.
But he speaks in blanket. This is good and this is bad, which I don't really like. So, anyways,
Well, yeah. I mean, here, you want to challenge, like, right? He says never take a 30-year mortgage, take a 15-year mortgage.
I'd take a 50.
Well, I mean, think about it. So, like, historically, you've had a interest rate spread between the 15 and 30 of 1.5. So, 7 to a 5.5. Well, the last 2.5 years, 3 years, that spread's been less than 0.5%. Why would you take a 15-year at that point? You're not realizing the benefit of it.
Only if you buy into the I need to pay this mortgage off theory, which we can challenge all day long.
Oh yeah, you want to do math on that? We're doing math. We're helping you with your taxes right now. You think I can't do that?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Mortgage, you can't discriminate based on age.
Nope.
A 98-year-old human can walk in and demand a mortgage and borrow $1 million
for 30 years.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Please, I'm asking my father to do that when he's 98. Because one, I don't want your house. What am I going to do with that?
So that's actually a great one. And I know we got to kind of speed up here. We got places to be, things to do. So a reverse mortgage, right? Everyone's talked about this, right? And it's come under a lot of scrutiny. You got like Tom Selleck pitching it, Fonzie pitching them, because they're pitching them for companies that charge a ton of fees.
Yes.
My grandparents, I did a reverse mortgage, right? A lot of people know my grandpa. diabetic, has a lot of insulin costs, all of that stuff, right? It allows them cash flow.
Yes.
Right. So they basically, the concept should be, and Tony Sr., well, he swears by this, the day he turns 62, he's getting a reverse mortgage. Work, pay your house down, then take out this line of credit, right? And so on a reverse mortgage, that line of credit grows every year because they're assuming appreciation on your house.
Yeah.
You borrow against it, you do whatever you want with it. You're borrowing that money at a pretty low rate, but it's constantly growing, right? Then, unfortunately you kick the bucket.
Yeah.
And your estate has two options. They can either send the house back to the bank, or they can buy the house back for 90% of the market value.
Sounds like a great decision to have.
Right? Like, it puts you in a perfect spot because now mom, dad, grandma, grandpa are in a spot where they have flexible access to finances because weird things happen, right? Like my grandpa, he was part of a union, butcher's union, that goes bankrupt, so his pension's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely high healthcare costs. They're going up exponentially, right? So letting grandma and grandpa do that. So there's all these theories, right? But what happens is everyone gets suckered into the wrong focus on mortgage situations, right? Oh, it's a great investment. We talked last week. It's impossible to time the market.
Can't do it.
So let's look at it like this. How about, I tell you this, Adam, if you had a $400,000 price point home, you're putting 5 to 10% down in October versus today, that home is now $300 a month cheaper today than it was in October.
Wowzer.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
Would you take that deal?
I would.
I'd take that deal too. And that's $3,600 a year, right?
Yeah.
You divide that out across what you got to use to qualify. It's a $7,200 a year raise. Your boss didn't give you a raise. Well, buy a house now.
Yeah. Buy it now.
Like it's just numbers. But if you're working with people that just huck up the normal narrative of, oh, the tax advantage of buying a principal residence, probably not there.
Mm-mm.
Does my loan officer, does my lender have a product that will allow me to save on taxes or allow me to not have to liquidate this asset that's returning me 9.5%, right? Because that's a damn good asset.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how can we do that? Well, we got programs for it. Like we're talking before the show. I have a loan program that literally, there's two calculations. It's assets times this, times this percentage divided by this. That's what we can use for your qualifying income. Or we have another one that's assets, mortgage amount, if greater than, house is yours. We're starting to get into this common sense stuff, and everyone's worried about affordability, but no one's really paying attention to the tax ramifications and what taxes do to your cash flow.
Sure.
All right. I'm done my rant. We playing finger soccer here?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Bino. Hey, check this thing out. If you don't have a Bino board, you need to get one. Which way am I going? This way.
There we go.
So, look it up, Bino. Check it out. I know that we're on Amazon, but a really cool little soccer game that is really fun to play.
That's why we got no fingernails left. Tired of typing. So what if you kick the ball out of bounds, you get a yellow card?
Yeah, there's yellow cards. There's rules. You can look them up. Fun game to play with your kids. It's addicting, so be careful. But if you want to come challenge me, we'll take you on. I just happen to have lost all of the Bino balls. So if Bino's watching, please send me a couple balls because my son lost them.
We're tired.
Might have swallowed them.
We're tired of playing with golf balls and marbles. Wash your windows, kids.
Love it.
That's a hosel rocket. It's all over. All right, so we just yelled at you guys for 18, 20 minutes there about taxes.
Yeah.
I know it's complex. We talked about some crazy numbers. But the main thing is everyone that's talking about what interest rates were in 1980 something, that doesn't apply anymore.
Irrelevant.
The tax benefits of buying your principal residence,
mostly irrelevant.
Damn near irrelevant for 88% of the population right now.
Yep.
So do a little bit of research and talk to people that actually know like how to use your mortgage as a financial tool, not just a means to acquire a house, even if it is your principal residence, right? And if you're self-employed, you need to be talking to a mortgage person about how to mitigate tax bill versus worrying about what your interest rate is.
Yep.
Right? You're talking about the difference between 7% and 9% versus 43% tax rate for the top tax bracket. I mean, you want a 43% interest rate, Adam?
I think you. Well, it depends on what it is.
All right, cool. Hey, do you mind to sign right here for that?
Yeah,
right?
right here.
We'll shine up that house for you. We'll get you a Ring doorbell for free. 1-year subscription. All right. That's all I got. Adam, how do we reach you?
AdamIsMyAgent.com. Check us out.
You get me at applywithjr.com. If you guys have any questions, anything, like we're here to help you. We're helping you understand and demystify the mortgage and the insurance process. That's it. See you guys next week.
Peace.